What's good everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about 5 common mistakes that most beginners make when they're just starting out in photography. These are the things that I wish I'd known earlier because they can really hold you back from creating the images you want. Whether you're new to photography or just looking to level up your skills, I'm going to show you how to avoid these pitfalls and improve your shots in no time. So let's get cracking. Mistake number 1. Ignoring composition basics. I get it. When you're new, you're often focused on your subject, which is great. But to make your subject stand out, you need good composition. Beginners often overlook this. One of the best tools in composition is the rule of thirds. Instead of centering everything, try placing your subject along the grid lines at one of the intersection points. This creates more balance and more visual interest. Another tip, look for leading lines, like roads, fences or paths that can naturally guide your viewer's eye toward your subject. Most cameras have a grid overlay option, which I always have switched on, so turn that on if you're struggling. Once you're aware of composition, you'll notice your images start to look more balanced, intentional and engaging. Mistake number 2. Not paying attention to light. Lighting is one of the most, if not the most important elements in photography. Beginners often think about light only after they found the subject, but you actually need to consider it from the start. Lighting can make or break a photo. Natural light can change drastically based on the time of day, weather, or even your angle. Shooting at golden hour, just after sunrise, or before sunset gives you a soft, flattering light that's perfect for most subjects. While shooting in the harsh midday light creates strong shadows, so try using them creatively. Look for patterns and bold contrasts to add depth to your photos, especially in street photography, where harsh shadows can make a powerful impact in your composition. Also, keep an eye out for your subject's face or any important detail. Make sure it's well lit and not hidden in the shadows. Paying attention to light can make a huge difference in the quality of your images. Alright, mistake number 3 is a big one. Relying only on auto mode. Auto mode can be helpful when you're starting out, whilst learning the basics. I hold my hands up to it too. It's exactly how I started out, but it doesn't give you full control over your camera, and you'll begin to notice how it limits your creative possibilities. Switching to manual or semi-manual modes, like aperture or shutter priority, can make a massive difference. These modes, as their names suggest, allow you to adjust key settings like aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. For example, if you're finding your subjects are blurry when in motion, set your shutter speed to a minimum of 1/500th of a second during the day to get those pin-sharp subjects without the camera guessing what you want. Learning these settings might seem intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll soon have so much more creative freedom and control over how your images turn out. Mistake number 4. Over-editing or under-editing. Editing is a powerful tool in photography, but it's easy to go overboard, especially when you're new. You might be tempted to crank up saturation, add too much clarity, or smooth everything out. A good rule of thumb is to aim for natural-looking adjustments. Start with subtle tweaks to exposure, contrast, and color balance. For beginners, apps like Snapseed, which is free, or Lightroom, which I'm pretty sure you have to pay for after a 30-day trial. These apps have easy-to-use sliders that let you control each element without overdoing it. Keep an eye on skin tones too. If you're editing portraits, orange or overly smooth skin is a dead giveaway of over-editing. Remember, the goal of editing is to enhance the image, not to turn it into something unrecognizable or unrealistic. Aim for edits that keep the essence of your photo intact, so your subject and your vision remain the focus. Mistake number 5, and this might be the most common one of all: not practicing enough. Photography is just like any other skill. The more you practice, the better you get. And I've mentioned this before in previous videos, mainly because it's absolutely essential. It's easy to take a few photos and get discouraged and then put the camera down, but the real growth happens when you keep shooting. Set yourself little challenges to keep things interesting. Try photographing the same subject from different angles, or focusing on specific elements like light or texture. You could also revisit the same location multiple times to see how it changes over the day or across seasons. Again, something I've talked about in my Power of Repetition video, which is well worth checking out if you haven't seen it already. The more you practice, the more your eye for photography develops, and you'll start noticing things you didn't see before. And don't get hung up on perfect results every time. Even seasoned professionals take shots they're not happy with, as it's all part of the process. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the 5 common mistakes I've just gone over. Number 1, ignoring composition basics. Number 2, not paying attention to light. Number 3, relying only on auto mode. Number 4, over editing or under editing. And number 5, not practicing enough. Remember, every photographer starts somewhere, and mistakes are just part of the learning process. The best thing you can do is learn from them and keep stepping out the door and shooting. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found these tips helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more photography tips and tutorials. Let me know in the comments which mistake you might have struggled with the most, or if you have any of your own advice to share with the community, we'd all love to hear it. Until next time, Mr. Whisper over and out. Peace!